Hey guys.
Hey guys, happy Thursday.
Sorry, it's been a long day for me.
And it's been raining here today.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it's not too bad. Hanging in there.
Yep. So we talked last week about 2 key ingredients for a marriage was love and respect, and it was pulling from Dr. Emerson. And he was pulling from from study done at the University of Washington. And so that's what we talked about last week. We're kind of bouncing off that because we made it short. So we're going to do a little short one tonight. Just kind of covering some other things that you might want to add into that. Because we didn't want to go too long last week. So, updating it up today. So we have notes, of course. We're going to keep it straight, guys. So they were saying the love and the respect was the 2 key ingredients. And this study was based, remember what we talked about last week, it was based on a study of 2,000 couples over the course of 20 years. I mean, it was pretty extensive. I mean, they hooked them up to
probes and everything,
wires and things like that for, brain waves and heart monitors and all kinds of stuff. And, some of the things was pretty enlightening. Do go back and watch that video of Dr. Emerson talking. It's a fantastic teaching, enlightenment on some things about the man's thoughts, the woman's thoughts, and which will come around and change how you think. Because when you understand some of these things, it makes a whole world of difference. You don't have to be you don't have to be childish about things and get all upset and go to war over things. When you understand what the other person is thinking and why,
right?
And you understand that, then you can go, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it's like the book, Men Are from Mars and Women Are from Venus. Mm-hmm. We speak 2 different languages, and we try to come together and make one. Because you got to remember, God separated us, right? Mm-hmm. So that means we have one way of talking, which is in how we understand the world, and women have another way of talking, how they understand the world. Because we are 2 different people, and God says, "Well, okay, now I took you apart because you can't be all one. I could be all one, but you can't because you're not mentally and physically able to handle that stress load." Mm-hmm. So God split us apart. So we have 2 separate. How do I say this? 2 separate points of view. There we go.
Right.
So now,
how He created us as well.
Right.
Because, and what was stated in the video is that the woman was created to love, the man was recreated for respect.
Right.
That doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you have to bow to the man. That's not what they meant by respect.
No. Not at all.
That's not what he was meaning. Like I said, go back and watch the video. I don't want to go into details because we did cover it last week. But
and a true man, a real man who's confident who they are, don't demand respect. We get respect because we give respect, and respect is given freely, not demanded. If you're demanding respect, is it really respect or is it fear?
Right. And see, then that goes into other issues that we've talked about and brought up. That brings because when a woman starts to fear, then she will close off and run.
Right.
She will run. And that's what you don't want. We don't ever, and that usually comes from an abusive type of thing. But in this study, that's not what we were talking about, meaning love and respect. It's basically to understand how the couple how they did it, to see why couples lasted. What was the element that made them last for so many years together?
Right.
And the ones, and he even says this in the video, the ones that lasted and stayed together were the ones that had these two elements, was the love and the respect, and how they treated each other and talked with each other and worked things out. And my understanding is I haven't looked at the research myself, but it's available for you guys to see. I mean, it's there. But the ones that didn't last, they didn't have that in their relationship.
Well, you have to nurture it and grow it. I mean, any relationship, because you have to understand when you first get together, I guarantee it's not about love. As much as you think you're in love with somebody, the first few years is not about love. It's about lust. Mm-hmm. Really, if you think about it, if you break it down and think about it, and the love grows as you grow together, because then you have an understanding of each other, and you have an understanding of how each other works and who the functions are. That's where the love comes in. But at first, it's about hormones and pheromones, and then what the root things of everything, and then love grows out of that. Guarantee it. You don't believe me? Just research it.
Right. And then there's so many different types of love as well. And we went over that. We've talked about that in other sections. So, go and follow those videos as well about that love, like I said. But he talked about that as well. The agape love is what the man is commanded to do. The woman's not commanded to do that because she's already created to do that.
Right.
The man's commanded to do it.
Because men don't think that way. Men think of how to protect, how to provide, how to do. Women are designed to make a house into a home, make a I don't want to say it, couples into a family. Women is what creates the family. Men is what protects the family. When you understand that, it helps understand how you two look at things. Right.
And I think it's sad in today's society that the man's not protecting his family.
Well, they're not allowed. Most women goes, I have my career, you have your career, and we happen to live together. Or I get what I want and you get whatever. That happens a lot too. And it's all about women's liberation. It's like, but are you really liberating yourself, or are you just putting yourself in a box?
Right. He does. Dr. Emerson does talk about, the women's movement that happened. He doesn't go into detail about it. He does mention it in there, and it was pretty enlightening about what he said about it. He wasn't putting it down, but he wasn't praising it either, because if they would have done it the right way, it wouldn't have gone the way it is today.
Right.
I mean, should we be able to vote? Should we be able to do things? Yes, but they just went too far with it. They started, it's crazy stuff
that
they do.
But the voting and everything else happened way before America even came around, if you think about it. I mean, it even came back around before even British became any type of sort of power. This is probably voting stuff with women, and they're below, like a lower class. Probably started before Rome, really. So think about that. Rome's been around for what?
Right.
Quite a few years.
So, thinking though that women are looked at or thought of as second class, that's not what should be.
Right.
I mean, that was never meant to be that way, and humanity created that. Men created that, but and that's not how God ever wanted it. And then you come around to, these women rising up and fighting for their rights to whatever. Well, that could be a huge discussion on its own,
right.
But the bottom line is when you understand what love, what respect truly was meant to be,
you'll have a complete relationship.
Right. Is there going to be problems?
Of course.
Yes. Is there going to be issues and little hiccups here and there? Yes. That's never guaranteed that you're going to be free from that. That's not the case. But what the case being is that when you come into those situations with eyes wide open, and understanding that the glasses that we have on from our past or whatever can be changed,
right,
and can be cleared.
Because
you know.
she wears pink glasses, I wear blue glasses, right?
That's the major bottom line right there.
Right.
That's the assumption. Not assuming that there's other glasses that we put on that
Right.
distorts that.
Well,
Because
we
of-
have beer goggles and I'm
Well,
I'm making a fun here.
what I'm saying is, other glasses from, the way we were raised, or abuse, or whatever, physical connotations or whatever. Any of those glasses that we have put on are on top of the pink and the blue that's already there.
Right.
So we have a lot of, glasses and things to wade through and try to help, but it can be done if there's that love and that respect there, because a woman she wants the love, she wants the attention, I'm sure she want to be cared for and understood. I mean,
Right.
we want to be understood. And that's like what he was saying, we go into conflict to try to fix and try to connect, because we want
And
that.
guys go into conflict to repair and fix, because that's their job, is to fix it.
But if a fight becomes too much, they will drop out.
Right.
If it's not worth the fight, because, he talks about that as well. So, I mean, you got to pay attention to that, because that's an important key. You wonder why men go into their caves. It's because...
Or we don't worry about the argument, because we pick and choose our arguments. What's important to you? And
then that's where sometimes the woman comes out and go, you don't want to fix the situation. You're not hearing me. You don't blah, 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 because you're running away.
Right.
Because we feel like you're running away. But if we can just understand and come together and just talk about it and allow you to pull out of that to speak what you need, what we need to understand and hear, that will change the whole.
Right. And like there's another version of that, is like men will hide in their cave waiting for a storm to blow over and then pick the head back out. Well, that's true to some cases. But in reality, the men are letting you blow out steam. They're hiding in their little cave watching you. And then when you're done blowing up steam, they test like, okay, are you ready to talk now?
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to fix it. So we let you say what you need to say, so we understand your side of the information.
Mm-hmm.
And then we try to fix it for our perspective.
Right.
And sometimes our perspective, the way you want to fix it, is not the same.
Right. Well, but we also, another reason why this study was done is we need to understand what happens in your physical being as well.
Right.
Because your heart rate goes up to 99, which is the same as if you were in a real war.
Well, it's stress.
So, when we can understand that, we can get,
Right.
maybe, okay, let's talk about this, and find out what each side is,
Right.
you know.
Well, look, so you said our heart goes up to 99. Yes, because it's stress. What stress does, it releases what? Adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenaline means that we have to be aware of and think faster on our feet than just looking at those like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
What, I don't understand what you're saying.
We understand that.
But see, that's but that's where we're at. Most guys are actually pretty quick about what they're going to say. They just want to make sure that they say the right words without hurting the feelings.
Mm.
So, and women will, and guys will be like, yep. And the guy go, and the guy go, yep.
Yeah, but see, we're also trying to connect.
Right.
And we're trying to get into that, why.
Right. But sometimes you ask why before we can answer the first why. And it frustrates us. It's like,
well,
so we're still back on the first why, and you're 12 whys later.
Right. Well, so, I mean, like I said, we are not perfect either, but we've gone through some of this and kind of understand it a little bit.
Right.
Do we have our fights? Yeah, we do. But
Well,
when we calm down, it's like, yeah, but I was feeling this. And and then it's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I didn't understand that you saw it that way, or I didn't understand that you felt that way. When we're able to actually talk about things, things are pretty good.
Right.
Even if we get mad at each other sometimes, but do we have really, we don't have really knockout dragouts.
No.
No,
We just tell each other,
that.
the other day you did something that pissed me off. Or I asked you, you wanted to go do something, and you said no, because we got to do this. And then next thing I know, we're going out and doing some other stuff. It's like, but I just asked about this, and you said no, and now we're doing it. Is that gets irritating? Because like it wasn't your idea, so we can't do it. See, that's where we have our arguments. That's where we have our discussions. And it's like, well, wait a minute here. I want to take you out on a date, just you and I, and here we are going somewhere else, doing something totally different besides going on a date. Because I forgot about First Fridays. It was still going on.
Right.
But what was the point? The point was, is I asked if you wanted to go on a date. You said no, because we have to do this. And next thing I know, it's been flipped 180 degrees, and we're going out for dinner because we're having this down there. It was like, well, that's kind of fucked up. Because I asked first to go out on a date, and you said no. Now we're going on a date. If you're doing other things besides what I was thinking about doing. See? We're talking about it right now.
Right. We already discussed this.
We did, but I brought it up as an example so they see what's going on.
Right.
So they understand that, yes, this is how it works out. And so when we have our conversation, we can understand, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, oh, I see how that plays out.
Right.
So instead of having pink and blue glasses, we have purple glasses.
Right, because that's what it's actually meant to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So see, she's already on the defensive. You saw this, not me.
Right? We're not really through that part. Are we doing this again? Yeah, I understand.
All right. So guys, I hope you had that was interesting for you. Hope you got something out of it.
Drop a 1 if you got some value from it. We'd like to see that. And just to reiterate, we do have a membership course that you are able to go through. If you want to know more information about that, drop me,
Right.
and we'll get that to you because it's already out there available to the public. So, yep. All right.
All right, guys, have fun.
See you next week.
See you next
Same
week.
time.
Later.
Bye.